button we want. Oh, God damn it. This is why no one watches this shit. Hello, and welcome back to a conversation with Painless 360. Woo.
Hello, mate. Hello. Yeah. This is a bit weird because for those watching, you and I catch up about once a week, and we're kind of doing it as part of the podcast. So for those of you that have seen me on here before, apologies in advance. But Jack and I usually just talk broken biscuits really about once a week, and we decided we'd invite you into the chat as well so you can see what we're banging on about and what we're talking about, because we usually end up at the end of the chat going, oh, that would have made a great little piece for YouTube. But now, of course, we're talking, we won't remember half of the things that we were talking about the last 2 weeks, but we'll give it a shot.
And when we do chat, we never finish the whole like Lee schedule thing, or I besmirch poor Lee by talking about stuff we're meant to talk about with someone else, because I'm a dickhead and I'm very sorry. This is my public apology that I've upset Uncle Lee.
That's all right. No, I wasn't upset. I was just disappointed.
I was disappointed in my fucking self.
Yeah, for those who for that. So we were talking. I was going to be on a couple of weeks ago, and Jack and I had kind of prepped a whole show and a topic list and everything. And we've been really professional, which is probably why it didn't work out. And then unfortunately, Jack had another guest on, and there was a bit of dead air time. And Jack, in a moment of panic, I think, was like, "Crap! What do I talk about? I know," and then basically started running through our agenda. So I kind of went, well, there's no point in us talking about that now. It's like, you've kind of done it. So that was the kind of background to that. But you know what? There's always stuff to talk about in this hobby. How are you, Flower? How have you been?
I'm all right. I've had an epic long walk, and I've at the moment stuff at work's like all trying to get to a deadline, so I'm a bit flustered. I've built another plane. I've built a Mini Guinea, which is going to be my first twin airplane. Ooh. Hello, 507RC. I've seen you around a lot. Thanks for tuning in. And what else have I done? Nothing bloody works. Out of the four, like I think maybe three of my things work, and nothing else really. So I'm just trying to get the bugs out of stuff. A lot of very unfinished projects, really. And the other thing was I keep breaking. I think you're very familiar with this. This is just I've put this here because I knew that you'd ask me something like this. So this is my Tony is gay wing. Hashtag Tony's my wife. And I keep getting the typical, see that SMA connector?
Mm-hmm.
That's not meant to be there. It's meant to be in there, connected to and it keeps coming off. Just keeps pinging off, and so I need another AeroPod. Weird, I text you 1 minute. Yes, Gareth, how are you doing, buddy? I hope you're well. With my friend Gareth, I met. He's a Brightonian person, and he's had his appendix out. He's not very well, and also he's having to go to Wales. Yeah, which I have my deepest sympathy for you having to go to Wales.
There's some lovely flying spots in Wales, mate. There's lots of open areas with just sheep.
Yeah, well, he's going for a not so happy reason, so hence so one where you can have a maximum of 30 people still gather.
At the moment, stay tuned.
I know. Well, they're on about the old what is it? What is it? I keep thinking RCD. What are they called? What do normal people call RCDs? Like, this is what happens when you're a technician.
What? Residual current device? Your circuit breakers?
Yeah, circuit breaker lockdown. That's it. Circuit breaker RCD. Thank you for saying device as well. So I will ask you how you're doing in a second, but I had my isolation switch on my shower. I've got a power shower. The isolation switch went, and I put in a repairs thing, and I put not working, and then I put in details. I think it's the isolation switch, and I got a phone call, and they were like, the maintenance people, they were like, "What do you mean, like, not working? You got any idea? Is it running water? Is the pump stopped?" And I was like, "No, I wrote down what the problem is in the notes." And they were like, "Oh yeah." I said, "It's the isolation switch," and they came in. And I was like, I think it's the isolation switch. And they weren't having none of it. Went to the RCD, had a look at that. Yeah, it's fine. Come upstairs, took the switch apart and was like, yeah, it's that. I was like, yeah, because the neon indicator's not on no matter when you pull it. And they were like, oh, yeah, it is the switch. So they went off, got a new one and came back. And I was like, it was a bit weird, like having someone. And they're like, yeah, do you know electronics and that? So they discovered Mouser through me and everything. So they were like looking through my catalogs and stuff. Like, I was like, do you want to borrow my multimeter? He's like, no, I've got something else. I was like, what, power probe? And he's like, no, it's like, pulls out a Fluke power probe. I'm like, that is a power probe. Oh, God damn it. How have you been, Lee? What are you working on?
I have been very well. You can actually see one of the things I've been working on behind me. Actually, this is really weird. I've still got the hang of because it's because it's not mirror image. That's right.
Work.
Don't sod off. It's Friday. The boat. So we've been playing with the boat and the rover stuff. That's good for a laugh. I do kind of want to just pull the stick back and kind of take off though. So I might end up doing some other stuff with it, but that's been good fun. I've got one for my friend as well. We're going to race each other around. He's got a big duck pond on his property, and in the winter it completely overflows.
Really?
So an entire field just kind of goes underwater, which is a bugger because when we fly at his farm, we always end up crashing in that field. So we always have to have a set of wellies, and one of us has to put the wellies on and just kind of wade out and go and get it before the ESC shuts out.
Yeah.
And the cool thing is, if we got a boat, awesome. Two things.
Rescue.
One, we could have a boat rescue, right? And secondly, we could just chase each other around. But I put FPV on it. Just a bit of a daft thing, really. That's been good laugh. Had the new radio in from Radio Master. I think you saw that at the weekend. I think the anodized
got delivered whilst you're on the phone to me.
It did actually. Yeah, I was talking to you, and I had one of my package, and I was like, "Oh my God!" It's been really funny because we've had two very extreme reactions to that. Either people have gone, "Oh, I need that, take my money," and the others have been, "Oh God, that looks like that," all the usual you can imagine, right? All those kind of reactions. And you know what? It doesn't matter what you use, doesn't matter what you fly, doesn't matter if you're having fun with a hobby and you're not putting anyone or anything in danger, then you know what? It's all good. Doesn't matter if you've got a bright pink radio. If that makes you happy, go for your life. It's been really funny. You had this, normally with my videos anyway, because I don't use a lot of the, fat shark killer, best quad ever, question mark, all that stuff, right? That I don't get a lot of the traffic from the clickbait and the controversy stuff. So you don't tend to get these really polarized views on mine. But that video was one that did. It was like loads of people coming on going, wow, oh, God, I need to wash my eyes out with bleach. But
it's a bit of a mad
like it. Scheme. Well, to be fair, what I really want is a hot orange anodized CNC set on a carbon radio. Is actually what I wanted. But he was like, we're not doing orange. And I was like, oh, you're joking. I said, what are you doing? He's like, we're doing gold. I was like, I can't have gold. It'll make me look like I'm trying a bit too hard.
90s shit rapper.
Absolutely. I should have it on a big chain around my neck. In fact, maybe that's what we should have. Those big chunky
Flavor Flav, like
a Flavor Flav with a little clip at the bottom that you put your radio on. That'd be awesome. So we had those. We had red ones. He had and the only other one that I was interested in was the purple. But actually, I really like it. I've changed the display so it's purple and black with a carbon background, and it actually looks quite mint. For the time being, until the stuff comes out, it was the only one. But that's been fun. There's something on again. God, I'm gonna have to see if I can flick this around so it's a mirror image because it blows my mind.
You can. It's in it's device manager and stuff like that.
Some setting in the webcam thing, but I haven't. Every time I do this, I think I'll do that and then forget. The other thing on the radio behind the radio is a super secret thing that'll be out on Sunday that I still can't talk about yet. That I should have been talking about last week, but the shipping from China went completely Pete Tong. So it was sat in a port in China for 10 days. And the manufacturer was freaking out because God bless him, he's waiting until I've done my video. This will all make sense if you watch the channel on Sunday. It will all make sense. You go, right, I know what it's banging on about now, because I'm trying to explain this without giving the game away. I've just been sat here kind of putting it together, and I was like, oh my God, I'm on with Jack. Having it in the background is probably going to give the game away somewhat. So underneath and behind that radio is actually something new. And there's loads of stuff. I got a note from Greg at Fat Shark to say that my Bite Frost test system is on its way. Now that's really, really exciting, because I didn't speak to Greg. Greg and I usually Greg at Fat Shark, he's the owner, and he, because you know Greg, I think have you had him on the LDO show?
I think Andy RC is I've got a bit of an echo. Have you got me playing out loud or anything?
No, you're just on head. Let me just double check. Talk to.
Hello and welcome to my bullshit.
No, you're just in my count.
I don't know. Yeah, I can hear a slight echo from me as well, and I don't know why.
Hello to Andrew. That's all right. Like we say, it's a bit slapdash this afternoon. This is just Uncle Lee and Uncle Jack having a chat, which is normally done on the phone while I'm walking into town. Jack keeps me company normally, and then when I get to the other end, I realise that I've been holding my elbow in that position for so long it's actually gone stiff.
There is a company called A1 Anodizing in the UK, and they're very good, very quick turnaround. If you you could remove all your anodized parts and get them recolored to orange if you wanted to.
Well, I'm
well worth doing.
I'm hoping that he does the orange set, in which case I will swap it out. But I'm a big well, you can probably tell from all the crap on my thing behind me. I'm a massive Haunted Mansion fan. So my wallpaper is the wall, and the purple is like the theme colors, the Haunted Mansion. So I'm kind of made up. I just need glow in the dark, ghosts on the back of it, and I'll be made up. So the Fat Shark stuff is on its way. So it's the new version that I can't talk about in detail yet, but it's by talking to Greg on Skype, it looks like the new system will still talk to the old receivers for the Bite Frost test system that's behind me but out of sight. I'm mega excited about that, because I was involved in the launch of that last August, and then DJI came out and did a mic drop in the world of HDFPV, and then Fat Shark kind of went, right, okay, hold your horses, we're going to have a think about it. And I keep pinging away at him. And then speaking to Greg a couple of weeks ago when the announcement of the purchase came out, the red hat, whatever it's called, red box or whatever. I was talking to him and he was kind of saying, oh yeah, no, it'll be fine, blah, 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 blah. And I know the pundits have had a whale of a time talking about whether that's the death of Fat Shark or not. Let's get some airtime on the YouTube channel about that with the lack of information. But it's good. It's fun to speculate, right? You can get some YouTube hours out of that. But I was joking to Greg and I said, what would really put all these people's mind at rest is if you came out with a really good new product. And he kind of went, and I didn't hear anything from him for about 4 days. So I thought, I think I'm probably upset him there. And then the next thing, it pinged me back. He goes, right, I'm putting the shipping sticker on your Shark Bite system. And I was like, yay! Because that'll do it. That'll do it. If you bring out Shark Bite and it actually works, then everyone will kind of go, okay, so maybe they haven't bought it so they can shut it down. So DJI rules the world.
Yeah. Red Cat Hoodlings.
Red Cat, that's it.
Red Box buying Fat Shark.
Red Box.
Would be interesting. They rent DVD Blu-rays here in the US. Do you mean rent Blu-rays and DVDs? That's interesting. Yeah, I mean, clearly you've poked the hornet's nest and lit a fire under his ass, maybe.
Well, to be fair, I think it's something that was already happening. I think that to be fair, I always give him a bit of a hard time anyway.
I do. Why do you call them HD when they're not? I think that's why he doesn't come on Let's Drone Out anymore.
Yeah, well, the thing, what everyone needs to calm down about is that we actually haven't seen the system, and it depends on what your definition of HD is, and what your priority,
and above.
and what your priorities are, right? Because actually, my priorities, and you and I have joked about this. You know, my priorities with FPV is I love solo FPV, obviously with spotter, but it's quite a solo experience, right? Because if your spotter isn't looking through his goggles, because he shouldn't be, he can't see what's going on. But my favorite type of FPV flying is when there's a few of us in the air and we're playing follow the leader and things like that, which has been really handy for playing for Star Wars Squadrons in VR on the PlayStation. I tell you what, all that practice chasing my mate over the skies has come in really handy for that. But
I'm still waiting for video games to have a control option for like mini quad or like FPV, so that you switch to that and then you get aileron elevator.
Well, I did actually change the controls on the PlayStation controller to be mode 2, so I swapped it all around. And it didn't work, because the way it's designed and the way the game kind of the mechanics work for my head just so I had to swap because the rudder and the aileron
reverted.
I remember trying to fly it. I was like, no, this is wrong. My brain, after all these years of FPV, was kind of going, no. So I changed it around, then tried to do that, and it was like, no, this is really difficult to fly this bloody X-Wing or whatever it is. So I swapped it around and then got used to it. And then there was part of my brain going, God, I'm hoping all right when I go back to FPV that I don't crash my mini drac into the ground at full throttle because I'm trying to fly an X-Wing. But that's been really good fun. So for me, flying with other people is kind of where I get a kick. And systems like, well, the only system, let's face it, there's only 2 horses in town for this, isn't there? The system like the Shark Bite is much better playing with other people on Shark Bite or analog FPV. Yeah. So I am quite happy to sacrifice a little bit of quality and have it a really nice image in my HDOs if that means I can chase my mate around, because the only way we can do it at the moment is when I'm flying my DJI stuff, because he doesn't have the goggles. He'll fly line of sight one of his planes. We'll have his other mate stood there as the spotter. Usually I'm the brew and laughing at everything. And I'm in HD FPV, usually in a quad, typically kind of following him to get some nice footage, and we kind of share that between the group. And that's the way it works. So for me, DJI always feels like, a solo sex act. Whereas analog FPV, with loads of us doing it, kind of chasing each other around is kind of the more fun. But then
Pineapple doing it, party.
Absolutely. Doing it with other people's always more fun. That's kind of the rule of the game. So I'm excited to see what Shark Bite does. And if it means that I have to sacrifice a little bit in quality, but I get a better image, but I can fly my mates, you know what? I'll take that all day. Because the thing that I found is that in the DJI system, because it's HD and it looks so bloody lovely, when I'm trying to spot my mate's plane, because he's really bad at telling me where he is in the field, so I'll pop the quad up after he's launched, and I'll be like, right, where are you, mate? And he'll be like, oh, I'm over the trees. And I'll be like, right, there's about 50,000 trees right around here, mate. Which one? Force of habit. So I struggle with that. However, in DJI HD, the resolution and the clarity is good enough that I can actually see his little plane, and I'll be like, right, gotcha, and I'll catch up with him and follow him around. With that, then if you go back to analog FPV and try and do the same thing, you're literally looking for one white pixel,
or a dark grey one,
or a dark grey one, and it's really tricky. So if I could have something in between that and fly with it, my mate at the same time. Awesome. I'd love that.
Yeah. My strategy is get them to do a little flyby. Oh, there is an echo. It's so annoying. I don't understand.
I can't hear it in my headset. Okay.
You're going to have to do walking.
We've only got about another 15 minutes anyway, brother, and then we'll have to knock it on the head.
Still waiting for the DJI to release a 360 camera. or buy out Insta360, says Frank.
Well, you know what? I am so glad, Frank, you're talking about the Insta360, because I think that is a company, as a hobby, we should be getting behind, not flipping GoPro. GoPro don't care about us as a hobby. They wouldn't wheel on us if we were on fire. They don't. They did the session that we all loved. Then somebody copied the form factor, maybe, allegedly, and then GoPro sued them, stopped them making it. Cam, and then they cancelled the session, and then they carried on these other cameras, and we all spend loads of money, hundreds and hundreds of pounds, buying these cameras, smashing them up, trying to skeletonize them. That seems to be a topic that comes up an awful lot at the moment, and it's just like, you know what, GoPro doesn't care about us. If Insta can come with, because the new camera, I don't know if you've seen it, it's like modular.
I thought it was like a little pill shape.
No. That's the Insta360 that's been around for 4 or 5 months. But there's a new one that's almost like, it's about 370 quid. I'm very close to buying one that actually has a screen element on it and a battery element, and the camera piece can either be the 360 or a 4K camera, and it all snaps together. It looks amazing. It's like brilliant. Somebody's actually thinking about it. Let's all buy them instead, and GoPro can just go and flog them to people who do, I don't know, après ski.
1R, says Frank.
1R. What's that?
Yeah.
Like
I think that's the name of it.
A pirate that's short of breath.
Yeah. L. Leston says Fat Shark still has opportunities due to the form factor and overheating of the Cadex Vista unit. I hope they nail it.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I think people are getting smarter about how they mount the DJI stuff, and this is classic DJI though, right? Because what they've done is they brought out a really great technical product, and then they still haven't introduced things like the ability to record telemetry from Betaflight in the DVR and all that stuff that we all want.
Yeah,
and it's been well over a year. It's like, oh, come on. But what we've all done is, rather than them sort it out so that the thermal issues aren't such a big problem, we make it so that the hobby's designed frames to give it more airflow. Or the thing behind me, the thing behind me, which I can talk about on Sunday, actually has a specific mounting option for DJI that puts it in airflow. Brilliant. But again, that feels like the wrong way round. It's kind of like the hobby's having to fix a problem that the vendors created. One of the reasons that Fat Shark has been delayed so much is that they've gone through 4, maybe 5 iterations of the video transmitter, and all of that was around managing the thermal load of the VTX, so that when it came out, it wouldn't run hot and it wouldn't overheat. And it's like, well, I can't wait to get my hands on it. Again, caveat, I haven't had it. I played with the Bite Frost, not Shark Bite. I played with the first one, the one that was a little snowflake, and it actually works all right. It works fine. I'm quite happy with it. I'm fascinated to see what the new one is, because it's a new camera too.
Says hello to you.
Hello. 507 says, I hope the market's big enough for both Shark Bite and DJI FPV to survive. Oh, heck yeah, brother. Absolutely. I believe it is. The reason is that the Shark Bite, yeah. Where did that go? That's a really nice project, and I'm waiting to do a series on that. But when I spoke to this OpenHD devs, they said, no, hang on, because we're just about to ratify the web, because it's a bit of a you get your technology, you kind of mash it all together, and then you throw chicken guts at it and you incant, and then eventually it bursts into life. There's a million different ways to do it, right? And they were trying to simplify it and have a standard that worked every time. And they said, wait until we've done that, and then that would be good for a video series. So I went, yeah, brilliant. And that was 4 months ago, and I'm still waiting to hear, because I think that's a nice system. But again, you have to be quite technically competent to set that up, right? Because you're flashing Arduinos and things like that. Whereas most pilots really want what we've got with analog FPV and the DJI system to a certain extent, is that you just plug them on, you power it up, you press the bind button, or you tune to the channel that you want, and you fly. You don't have to spend 45 minutes setting up and flashing things. I mean, because my mate is coming over on Monday. We're going to be flying in a socially responsible manner, distance and all that. Of course, naturally. And he, unfortunately, Monday looks like a really crap day. So he said, okay, well, what I'll do then, I'll come round and I've got a couple of planes that need fixing. So one needs an ESC swap. We've got one that I donated him a wing that was my very first iNav wing that I don't fly anymore. It's based on Tech Sumo. Do you remember them? Awesome little wings.
Yeah.
And
one of the new ones, FPV1 or the old
No, it's one of the old school ones. It's brill. And he's got loads of stuff he needs to set up. So he's going to come round. But I know that I'm going to be sat outside. Hopefully it's not going to rain. We'll be sat outside with a brew, and I'll have my laptop, and it's going to take me 45 minutes to set iNav up from scratch because the one that's on it's ancient, and do all the pre-flight and do his receiver and all that stuff for him. And it's like, if it takes me 45 minutes, how long is it going to take your average Joe? And then you've got the complexity of an HT system on top. It just needs to be simpler, doesn't it, mate? That's the thing. It needs to be, you buy these bits, here's the part numbers, here's the links to them on Amazon, or you buy it as a kit, here's the files that you download, you plug the USB, you load the sketch, you plug it in, you test this, press this button, power it up, and you should see a picture. Brilliant. Should be one side of A4. If it's more than that, most people will lose the plot.
I mean, even the presets aren't really that good. I think they're the work of the devil. You're all right with them, I think, but like even if you had like the pre-configured setup, not good.
No, and I think that's the issue. To go back to the question about is the market big enough from 507, the thing about the Fat Shark system that I'm interested in looking at, because the way it integrates with your existing FPV goggles has changed. I'm not sure how public. I'm sure somebody's leaked it already, but I'm not going to because I'll get in trouble. But it means that if you already have a set of Fat Shark goggles, you don't have to buy another set of goggles. You can. It's like a receiver module-ish, right? So if you want to fly analog, you stick your rapid fire in it. If you want to fly sharp bite, I keep having to triple check I'm saying the right word, sharp bite, then you put that module in it. Brilliant. That's really good. That gives you the option. So all those of us that have these goggles kicking around that don't have an extra 700 quid to buy the DJI system, if it's priced properly, then buying the receiver and the other bits and pieces to snap onto your goggles or in your goggles or however you do it would be freaking awesome. Yeah. So we'll it's all, like I say, there's no point in us getting too deep in it, mate, is there? Because I haven't got my hands on it yet.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
I can hear you fine.
Yeah. God damn it. Why have I still got some sort
Have you still got your echo?
Yeah, it's driving me nuts. Has that fixed it? No. I can still... The fuck, man. I've got no idea why it's doing that. I'm very sorry. That must be so annoying.
Andrew's asked a really good question. Is the S6R still the best solution for non-GPS tiny stabilized models? Slightly controversial answer, Andy. Andrew, of course, because Andrew/Frank. No, it's never been a great solution in my humble opinion. I think it was a great idea, but FR Sky completely effed the implementation. They screwed the pooch big time on that. It could have been such an amazing system. I prefer Copilot. Copilot provides stabilization and also adds the GPS return to home. So if you do get into trouble, you flick the switch and it flies back to you.
One thing... Oh, sorry.
Go for it.
One thing I was really... what were they called? The Vector. They're no longer. I know. Yeah. You own several, don't you?
Yeah, the Vector's a really good system. You'll notice that I wasn't talking about it, and in things like my kit picks and the flight controller comparison videos, I haven't been talking about it because I had an inkling that all was not well, and I thought I cannot recommend it anymore, which is a bloody shame because the Vector, in terms of it, going back to the whole thing about spending 45 minutes installing software, the cool thing about the Vector is it was all plug and play. You didn't have to be a rocket scientist to plug it all together, and it worked amazingly well. When Flight Test made a massive quadcopter, do you remember they made like a quad and it was like a 6 foot across quadcopter?
Yeah, and they made like a foam GoPro and everything. I remember.
That was it. Yeah. Do you know that the only flight controller that would actually run in that and fly that monstrosity was the Vector. Everything else they tried.
Why was that?
Not have it. The
just
Vector,
vibrations.
No, it's just the way the code is implemented, the way it handles everything. It is just a very super forgiving flight controller, and it is really, really good because it supports pilots who are very new. So there's lots of it's like the KISS secret sauce, isn't it? There's something extra that goes on there under the covers that we all don't understand, but actually works well. I was gutted when it turned out that they did go pop. I was hoping they wouldn't, but they went super quiet. I'm hoping somebody picks up the project or it gets bought or something. But I'm surprised nobody bought it because I imagine they'd have been desperate at the end to sell the assets. But they hadn't really invested in the product, which is why which was my clue that I was starting to get nervous about it. They hadn't invested in the product for a very long time.
I mean, why would they need to though when it works that well?
The interface was horrific. The interface on the computer was it was like, do you remember Clean Flight 1.0?
Oh yeah, very much so. Base flight standard. Do you remember like Dragon Link used the same open source GUI? It was just so bad. It was Dragon Link with the software, what was it? The software spectrum analyzer that was like 10, like the delay on it. It was like so bad.
I still have loads of people who come on when I do a Crossfire video and goes, "Oh, Crossfire, I'm not using that. I love Dragon Link." And
so noisy.
That's awesome, well done. But yeah, I can't think of many places it's still legal.
Yeah, true. Yeah. Was it ever?
But
legal?
You don't care about that. Well,
yeah.
You know what? I never really found an answer to that. I think the answer might not be yes, but hey.
Oh, Spider, hello. I haven't seen you in a while. I think I say that every time. But I think it's always good to see.
Right, we've only got a couple of minutes left, and then I need to be on my way. So, is there anything else that you wanted to talk about today, Bud? Nice to talk to you and catch you up as always.
Yeah, no. Have you used your stickers? Don't forget, I'm still selling stickers. Oh my god, it's like a shit fat shark killer. Buy it. Yes, I've still got stickers. Please buy some stickers.
Please buy some. I have some, and they are very, very nice.
Yes, and Uncle Lee's got some new stickers as well. Does Copilot work without GPS plugged in?
I wouldn't. That's kind of the point.
Well, fair enough.
If you're not bothered about GPS, then
the wife basically is more important than this live stream. Are we allowed to say her name?
No, what, Lucy?
Probably. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, well, you can't quite see it, but I've had some other stuff made. That's actually a pill in acrylic, but there's a thing on the front so you can't see it, which is incredibly helpful. Okay. Thanks for doing that. And yeah, I've had, because you told me where you got your stickers from, I've got some stickers from there as well, and they are cool. Nice. Now I don't sell mine, but buy Jack's, the race.
Yes, I've got and you can get custom insult things. What is the pill on your doors? Your cupboard doors? Was that a 3D printed one?
That one
there?
Yeah.
That a coaster?
Yeah. No, it's 3D printed door handles. One of my stickers kind of printed across the top. So it makes it. It's only the IKEA stuff, isn't it? So quick one. Last one, Andrew wants a 400mm model flyable in UK weather.
Good luck with that.
The small models that I really love. Bear with me. I'm going to fight with this in the last minute while I answer Andrew's question. For me, the little models that I love flying are the AR Mini Wing. I think that is spectacular. I love that. That's too big for you. That's 600mm. There we go. That's the DB one. Wasn't really worth it, was it? The ZOHD Dart. which is a 635 millimeter, is epic. That's absolutely brilliant as well. And the only other small one that I really like, because if you're looking for portability, the other one that I really love is the ZOHD Drift, which is like a little skeletonized thing, and the wings just snap on and held in place with one little screw. That is amazing, and you can get like 45 minutes out of it. Unfortunately, I can't think off my head of a really, really good 400 millimeter model, but I can think of lots of models that will break down that would fit in a 400 millimeter space like a backpack, including my mini Drac.
You got the Tundra, which I was really excited about, the mini Tundra.
Oh yeah.
Looks so good. Dan Upton's so like, damn you, Painless, getting that for free. He'll never afford it.
It's one of those that's already been passed on to somebody else. It's the challenge with that is, what I wanted it to be was very similar to its bigger brother. It should have had a little bit more wing area. The wing loading's a little bit high for a small model like that. It needed a little bit more power. The power system is okay if you use HV batteries. If you use normal T2S, it's not. And the foam is a little bit too dense, so it's too heavy. Basically, it's too heavy. I think if they gave the wing cord about another half an inch, it would have been epic.
Yeah.
But what they did is they took the same dimensions of the Tundra and just went and shrunk it down.
150% on the rear tail and everything, and that's what flight tests do really well, other than make stuff out of really shit foam.
Yeah. Cool. All right, bro. Well, I probably need to love you and leave you, but I'm glad you're okay, and I'm glad you're all right. And I'll probably talk to you at some point next week, not on the internet.
Yeah, no problem. And we will, if you find that old list of topics we were meant to cover, and I haven't ruined half of them, maybe we can do that in a few weeks.
Oh, I still, yeah. Well, you know what? I'll dig them out, because there is still, and actually by then the shark bite will be here. I can talk about the thing behind me. There's also something else that I can't talk about that will be out at the end of the month. There's loads of really cool stuff that I'm not allowed to talk about yet.
Yeah, it might be worth doing an LDO and joining in the cop wombling, if you can stand it.
But, well, there might be enough to talk about then. Absolutely.
Yeah, no worries. All right, thank you very much. Thank you everyone who tuned in and like had a listen. Don't forget you can buy my crap on Etsy. Like, subscribe, follow Lee. If you don't know how anything works, have a look. There's usually a video covering it in his channel search. And I hope you guys all have a good weekend and get out and fly if the weather's half decent.
Yeah, good luck, everybody.
Yeah, Frank, call me after this. I was calling you basically, where do you want me to send your DVD and stickers? That's what I was calling you about. So I've been playing phone tag with Frank. Yeah, and smash the like video and all that stuff. And
Jack, I'm going to send you my new stuff, including one of my brand new battery straps. So I'll put some in the post for you as well, brother. That's what I was waiting for, to send you it. So
thank you, buddy.
All this will be on its way.
Oh, what lanyard next? Bloody hell!
I'm working on it. They're quite expensive unless you buy 1,000.
Damn it! I know. I wanted to do Let's Train Out ones, but yeah, same problem. All right, thank you guys. I hope you have a good weekend. Thank you.
Bye, everybody. Happy flying.